ahead of the Pacers game, I want to take this moment to actually break down one player who really does mean the world to us. It makes all the difference when he's aggressive and when he's on the floor playing confident. No, it's not Kobe White. No, it's not DeMar DeRozan. It's absolutely Ayo. Let's break down what that means and what I'm even talking about right now. Listen, if you're new to the channel, it's your boy P Kid. This is Chicago Bulls. Talking all things Chicago Bulls. Again, we are now sitting ninth in the conference. Well, we should be about ninth. Again, this is a fluid situation. Heading into, excuse me, the Indiana Pacers. Now, this is a team that is they got it. But the one thing I love about the Chicago Bulls is while we may not be the best in the East, at any given time we can compete with them. And so I'm not going to say that this is a wash. But the one player who I think makes all the difference when it comes to these games, and we've seen it in several games on the way, especially when you talk about the last, Ayo Dosunmu is having a nice little run and I just have to say, Ayo Dosunmu right now, real high, 11 points, really 40% from. As someone who we all talked about last season, not having a good 3-point shot. In fact, it was atrocious. It was 30%. That's nearly a whole 10% jump in his shooting percentage. That's a big deal when it comes to season of games, a season of plays. Played 69 Bulls this season, and still averaging around roughly what he averaged in minutes last season, about a 2-minute difference. Actually giving you more than you bargained for. He's giving you more bang for the buck than you can actually sit there and say anything about, because realistically, the type of production at the clip that he gives it to you on all three levels, it's darn near elite. Now, again, saying that it's elite when you're talking about the best of the best playing in the best league in the world is a different story. I get that, right? And I know, right? Top 400 plus players. But at the end of the day, when you really look at what Kobe White's putting together, how he's stringing it together, he's not just doing it against. He's had really good games at nearly 50%. It's really good defensive team like the Clippers. He's held his own even from shooting. Pacers even. Maybe you could sit there and talk about anything he's done against the Trailblazers and teams like that. All those are wash. But to even compete neck and neck with another young and scrappy Houston Rockets, who they're not the dumpster fire we thought they were. They're not Detroit or the Wizards out. They got some hoopers over there. They can actually go. Have dominated. Iowa's putting together a nice ring. I think the one thing we have to give credit for and credit to, that while we may not like Billy Donovan for everything, we can sit here and admit on a good job. I can't. Billy Donovan player. Bringing that all together to collective of games and going far in the playoffs, totally different story. That's not what we're talking about. But at the end of the day, this is what we. It almost begs the question: was Zach really holding these individuals back, or I don't want to put this all on Zach? Do we really just have that much talent on this team that's really untapped? And I think that's really. I think we have more untapped talent on this team than we give credit to, and that maybe Billy Donovan may not be best for it, because I've said this before and I've been on record since last season. If I had to choose a guard between, I would have. I would have chosen Sumo, mainly because of the things that I saw. Wasn't a good 3-point shooter. Gave me production at nearly 50% from the field, and he was pulling it together. He was stringing to mid range and things of that nature. I just simply could. You can't ignore it. You have to. Now I'm happy that we kept both, and I'm happy that it ultimately worked out that way. I'm happy for the success of both. I'm not one of those fans that's going to sit there and do the whole, well, this guy has to fail for this guy to, the whole vicious Caleb and Justin thing we did with the Bears. I'm not that guy. There's room for each and every one of these players in their minutes that they're allowed if they play good ball, team ball, and individually they're assertive enough to. We've seen teams with multiple players, 4 or 5 average double digits, and all get recognized for production. This can happen on the Chicago. So Ayo doesn't have to sit there and succeed. Kobe doesn't have to fail for Ayo. What I see here is, again, may have been a method to AK's madness. Because the moment that these young players saw that they had the opportunity to do more, did more. When it comes to Ayo, not only is he doing more, being more confident, he's attacking the rim like crazy. He's actually learning the finesse game around the rim. He's finishing around the rim a lot better than he did the seasons prior. You have to give him credit for that. And on top of that, he's improving in one of the worst areas that he had last season, as I mentioned before, 3-point shooting. So while that's a combination of his will to improve, combination of also AK getting the shooting coach in there, be clear, or Billy, whoever made that call, the Bulls finally got a shooting coach. Player development is happening there, and we're seeing it on the floor. We may not be the best in the East for a while, but I think that riding this little pocket and this little wave of talent out could be worth something, because I'm starting to see our young talent, like Ayo, do things that other young talents aren't. In some spaces, the talent that you think will be good, a la Jordan Poole, is regressing where there's no structure. It's regressing where they have no future. Ayo, on the other hand, selling. He's getting better. In some cases, a snail's pace, but he's getting better. With us not really looking to bring Zach LaVine back, this could be a situation in which we have every need if we go couple more seasons. We could find ourselves in a situation where we have nice collective, nice solid team that we've built from the ground up, that we've drafted and developed. We can't really say that the Bulls have done that. That's gonna. I'm in on the thought. I'm in on Ayo. I'm in on Ayo succeed, and I'm in on what that ultimately means. Him at the 2 guard, at the Kobe White at the point guard, and hopefully DeMar still at the next season, because ultimately, without that veteran, we may not see what we need to see from this team as far as keeping things together and stuff. This may be working out our best of our ability, or to the best it could, given the situation. I'm willing to stick that because I like what I'm seeing. May not be the flash, but it is looking promising. But I want to hear your thoughts. How do you feel about Ayo's improvement? How do you feel about his production? How he contributes to the team, and whether or not he truly is, in my opinion, one of the most important ones. I know some people are going to say Alex Caruso. Yeah, I can agree and disagree on that one. But again, Ayo is starting to attack and actually produce in ways that Alex has never done. And it just is what it is. Not to say Alex is a bad player or worse things of that nature. I mean, Alex is opinion. But Ayo offensively, because basketball is both offense and defense, um, he can do more. He has a higher ceiling, whereas Alex is. You get the point. What Weathers love will say? Put your thoughts in the comments. I'll be